Hi, Adrian Manyathelo here. I'm speaking to you today from my office, and as you can see, we are already here to shoot, and everything is cool, right? So today we are going to talk about a topic here which says how to harness your subconscious mind and succeed, right? One of the things that people do is that uh, they don't spend a lot of time to know how they can learn better, how they can be better human beings, right? So you find that a lot of people don't actually do that. You see, when I was in high school, because that's where my life changed, right? When I was in high school, I learned a lot of stuff, actually, more stuff than any average high school student would do. Because the real thing with me was that I I was in a very tight corner. Right? What happened was that when I went to high school, I had a lot of high hopes, right? That I was going to get a lot of support, especially from the family, right? And my brothers and sisters, let me put it straight this way. And just when I got there, they decided that no, they were not going to be able, for some reason. I think probably was just a mouth promise, right? I really don't blame them for that because out of that, I learned a lot of things. I had to learn to survive. I had to learn to study on my own. I had to learn to go out there and stand on my own and ask people for information. I had to act like somebody who's quite grown up, right? I had to act like a grown up from the age of 13, 12, right? So because of that, I ended up learning a lot of stuff, right? I wanted to work on how I can learn better, on how I can understand the teachers better. So because of that, I learned a lot of stuff. And one of the things that really changed me, a lot of things actually changed me, but probably I would say one or two. But the first thing that changed me was when I actually decided that I was going to find a mentor who was going to help me uh, in my maths, right? When I went to see the mentor really just gave me 5 minutes of his time, right? And showed me one or two things, and that alone gave me about 40% more to my marks, right? And that really raised my marks to about 90 something percent, right? Which was crazy, right? Just a few techniques. So there's a way you learn, right? If somebody doesn't tell you, like for example, I don't believe that anybody is people are dull. I believe everybody is very intelligent, right? Every individual is intelligent enough, right? Everybody has I don't believe actually this thing called somebody's got a high Q and a low IQ. I don't believe in that, right? I believe that everybody is intelligent, and so you can be whatever you want to be. But it's just a matter of learning the techniques that in today's world are available, right? And one of the techniques that I had to learn again was when I was in college now this time. Remember, I had all this very good base of education. I understood how to learn stuff a lot by the time I got there. But then I got stuck with one subject called technical drawing. Now, the way I actually overtook that problem or overcome that problem was I was using a technique that I actually learned from one sentence on. I had gone into the library, right? And I picked up a book, and this book said that if you ever face any problem, if you want to overcome it, what you need to do, you need just to sit down and meditate or imagine yourself doing well in that particular thing, right? Uh, do the opposite, right? And that technique, right, is a technique actually that was actually working on my subconscious mind, if you like, right? And because human beings have got two minds, we've got the conscious mind and the subconscious. We actually nobody knows. Maybe there are more than two, right? Because some people say there's something called the conscious mind, unconscious mind, and the subconscious mind. So I never know what is what, right? But all I'm interested in is that we basically have, like, I would say, two types of minds. One is the conscious one, the other one is the unconscious. The unconscious, it's simple to understand really if you understand this thing. You got to understand. For example, if I was going to say, can I be able to talk right now and at the same time writing, right? For me, I think it's impossible. I think I can basically do about one thing at a time. Maybe I can do two, yeah. But it can't be more than that, right? But if you think of it, as I'm sitting here, I'm actually looking at the computer, right? And my mind is registering what I'm looking at. I can see the camera, I can see all these letters, and I can actually feel the wind is blowing. But do I actually consciously feel it or recognize it? No, I don't. My bloodstream is running, you know. So those other things are controlled by the mind that's called the unconscious mind, right? So it's how God made us. We are just like that. We can't change it, right? So it's that mind that you really want to benefit from. And one of the ways that I learned to benefit was this technique that I was taught. So basically, this is what I did. After reading that book, I never went back to that book. I don't even remember what the book was, right? I just literally went there and started imagining myself passing that subject because it was so hard for me. I mean, basically, that one I was worse because I was getting like 30% and I couldn't go any further than that. It was horrible. My teacher had given up on me. Everybody had given up on me, right? But the thing is, this is one thing you don't play around with me. I'll give every effort. Once I want something, right, I'll give 100% of effort. So I was studying this subject like hell. I was studying it day and night. I was working, revising, reading, do anything, do the homeworks as much as I can. And yet still it grounded me down to zero, right? I couldn't go beyond anything else. But I kept on. I used that technique to combine with my studies, right? So basically, what happened then was that, funny enough, I could not pass anything else, right? And I could not get any better marks on that subject during the entire 2 years. But I did not stop the technique that I learned because I actually believed in that technique, right? That this thing will take me there, right? So I would imagine myself doing very well. So imagine myself in the exam, actually writing the exam, putting the right answers, recollecting some information that I needed to do, drawing the stuff, you know, and lo and behold, when the exam came, right, it was so difficult. The exam was difficult, right? For me, it was normal, but everybody else, they said that it was extremely difficult, right? Because I was using that kind of difficulty, right? So what happened then in the end was that when the results came out, only 3 people passed, right? And one of them was me. And this is the most interesting part for me. Because after I realized that I passed the subject, I just went to see my teacher because the teacher told me that he's only sure of only one person that's going to fail, and that was me. And I told him I'm not going to fail. And that's one thing as well you got to realize in life is people will pull you down, but always determine yourself to say, no, I'm not like that. I am different, right? Once you do that, then you become different, okay? So now, that's what happened. And when I went to see the teacher after passing the exam, the guy, when he looked at me, he burst into tears, crying, right? I was shocked because I was wondering, why is he crying? He should be celebrating with me. But I realized he cried not because of jealousy. No, I think he cried because of overwhelm, right? That's exactly what happens, you know. So you need some techniques to learn certain things, and some techniques to work with some people, some don't work with other people, right? There are techniques, for example, that sometimes when I learn them from this guy, some guys that know this kind of things, immediately I just don't want them. I just don't want that kind of technique, right? So there are techniques that won't work with you, there are techniques that will work with you. You go because me, I'm a Christian, right? So I go with things that go with my conscience. If my conscience tells me this is good for me, then I take it. If it doesn't, I don't want it. So so that's how I do it. So today we're dealing with that topic. So if you click on that link below this video, right, you will find that link to that particular teaching. So go ahead, benefit from it, and you can teach it to whoever you know, and hopefully change your life out there. Thank you so much, and bye for now.